Hello everyone, it's Kate. Welcome to another speed build. And I'm just so excited for this because it's finally time to build something in StrangerVille. StrangerVille is finally out and I was looking forward to this pack so much. Ever since it was announced, I just couldn't wait, and I have to admit it wasn't that long ago, but I was still quite impatient because I was just so excited for something new and fresh. I don't use any CC, as you guys know, so anything that's kind of new for building makes me so excited, especially because, I don't know, there's always something that you can use to build something, in my opinion. Even if it's like the most strange pack ever, there's always something that you can use for something, in my opinion. I just love to use objects in a very uncommon way, so I was kind of hooked on this pack right away. But then, to my surprise, we saw when the Game Changers released their videos that there is a lot of stuff that belongs to American Gothic Revival architecture, and this was just so surprising to me. At first I only really expected stuff that would belong to the whole storyline, something that kind of is perfect for building a bunker, something like this. And then we learned that there's also a lot of other stuff, and this was surprising, and it was a very lovely surprise because the new doors and windows are just stunning. I love this type of architecture. Kind of reminds me of Victorian architecture, but still different from that. And as soon as I saw that these objects were part of the pack and knew right away that I would like to build a mansion like this, you guys know that I just love mansions so much. I'm also going to build something completely different in StrangerVille with the new stuff, something that kind of more fits into the whole StrangerVille theme. But at first I just had to try these new objects. There are new doors, windows, spandrels, columns, fences, just so much exciting stuff, and I feel like there is a lot of new stuff for a game pack. It's just really cool to build with this. So this mansion has 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Again, it looks bigger from the outside than it is. It's definitely not small, but it's not really huge. I built this on a 40 by 30 lot. It looks bigger for some reason, but this always kind of happens, probably because I love to use so much detail on the outside. But this building style is just asking for a lot of details. It's just part of it. So I used a lot of spandrels and columns and shelves and just so much different things to make this look very intricate and beautiful, and I think it turned out quite cool. And something that is quite uncommon for me was that I decided to use only cool colors. I used a lot of blue and gray and white, and I didn't use any warm colors really, only for the wood floor on the porch and on the little balconies. I really had to hold myself back there. At some point I thought that it would be cool to just throw in some warm color in the mix. I enjoy working with a contrast, and I felt like a lovely warm brown wood would just be stunning. But then I thought, no, this just looks cool the way it is. I just wanted to build something that's different color wise. It's very monochrome in a way, it's very cool toned, but I think that the cool thing is that the contrast is kind of the world in combination with the house, because where the house is very, very cool toned, the world is just so warm and so beautiful. It looks like the Monument Valley. Ever since I saw the Monument Valley on TV as a kid, I have always wanted to travel there. It's just so beautiful. I really love this world. Kind of reminds me of Oasis Springs, but it's still different. Also, the whole colors are much more vibrant, much more saturated. The red is much redder than the soil in Oasis Springs, for example. The beautiful cacti and lush flowers, it's just very beautiful. Still, the house kind of looks very weird in this world, I have to say. I mean, these items, a lot of them came with StrangerVille, so this is like the building style that we got with this pack, but it still looks a little bit weird and misplaced in this world, I think. But I really enjoy the contrast, I have to say. It looks so beautiful. Here at this building stage, the roof is still like this very light beige, but this was still too warm colored for me, so eventually I changed it and made it blue. Just in case you're wondering why I'm saying that it's a very cool tone build where there's a beige colored roof on top, I'm going to change this later. And I think that this very dark blue color on the exterior is just so stunning, and I really love the new windows. There are different windows. Most of them have a pointed arch, which is very characteristic characteristic for Gothic architecture. And I also love this little picket fence. There is just so much cute stuff. But the best thing, in my opinion, about the doors and the windows and all that are the swatches. We got so many cool color options, and what's even better is that a lot of them just work together with a lot of base game swatches. So if you want to combine this with some other columns, it works perfectly. And here I am using a base game debug object to create some type of frame for the little pass. I simply created the pass using the train paint tool, and this base game debug object, it looks like a little brick. I love to call it the base game debug brick, and it's kind of infamous on this channel. I love to use this for a lot of my build, but I haven't actually done this in a long time, but I used to use it a lot, and now I kind of felt like it's the perfect addition to this lovely build. It's perfect for any type of very suburban or very even regal family home, just anything that's kind of screaming classic, beautiful, dreamy family home. And I simply sized it up and placed it, and in case you want to use this, you just have to open the cheat console and enter bb.show hidden objects, and then just filter for base game objects, and you will see it. It's available in white and in some type of yellowish color, and it's just perfect to create something like this. But back to the color options that we got with this pack and all the new objects and the colors that I decided to use in this build. I love the colors. This dark blue is just so classy, for example, but there's also a beautiful pastel pink, a pastel green, pastel blue, just many different colors, a very bright, beautiful red, for example. And when I started building and when I started to develop the idea in my head a little bit, I looked at the swatches, and then I was kind of looking at the colors, and this was kind of how I decided how I would like to build this build and which colors I'm going to use for the whole build. So I was simply looking at door swatches, and this is kind of how I decided for a color. I did not want to combine different colors, so I ran for the dark blue for the door, and this is kind of how it all came together, which is completely new for me. I've never approached a build like this, I guess. As you can see when you're looking at the foundation, I used a new object that is also part of StrangerVille, just to make the foundation look a little bit unique. The object is called not quite the parapet, and it's just some type of barrier. You can use it for lots of different things, but in this case I just decided to just decorate the foundation at the bottom a little bit. This is how I added a little bit of red brick to this build, because I used the new chimney that is also part of the pack, and I didn't like that I just have this little pop of color at the top and then not repeating it would just look weird. This way it also looks a little bit more balanced, because it has this color at the top and also at the bottom and also on the path, and I think it kind of makes it look more balanced. It kind of makes sense. And I added more and more details. I added more spandrels and more columns and flowers on the wall. The flowers are blue as well. And there's also a cool feature, as you will see. I decided to add a little bunker to this house to make it more StrangerVille themed. As I said, these objects, a lot of them are part of the new pack, so it is a StrangerVille build, but when you think of StrangerVille, you kind of have something crazy in mind, so I thought adding a little bunker would just be fun, so your sim can investigate. I have no idea what's even going on in this story. I mean, I have watched the trailer, I know that it's about solving a mystery and all that, but that's it. I really try to avoid spoilers, and I am planning to play the storyline. I don't play this game that much, I have to say, because I kind of put all my free time into building, which I love so much, but there's not that much time for actually playing. But I'm really planning to play this time, because I'm kind of afraid that someone is going to spoil the story somehow, so I kind of have to quickly play the game. And I have read that it kind of depends on your playing style, how fast you're going to solve all the mysteries. Some people were done after a couple of hours, but others said that it takes really long, so I think kind of depends. And here I'm starting to work on the interior. I tried to maintain the same theme that I used on the exterior for the interior. I used a lot of white and blue, and this is like some type of office. I love these new bookshelves. They are really high, they go up to the ceiling, and they're just perfect for any type of library build. I can imagine that if you have a really huge mansion, that it would look really good if you kind of have a 2-story high library, something like this, and then these beautiful bookshelves. But I just wanted to have a really regal looking beautiful office, but it's just a simple office. It's nothing special, not a really huge home library or something, just a simple office. And I combined a lot of objects that are part of cats and dogs for the interior. For some reason it reminds me of a nautical theme, probably because of the blue and the white. I used a lot of this. I wanted to keep the interior very classy, just like the exterior, but still not over the top. I did not want to make it look like some type of castle, like when you're thinking of all the Get Famous objects, for example. It's like really over the top, so I kind of tried to maintain some kind of middle ground here, so it looks very elegant and classy and rich, but also very livable and beautiful. And I placed the stairs right at the center, so when you enter the house, the stairs are right in front of the door, basically. So this is just some type of little hallway there, and I used the space right behind the stairs as some type of little bathroom. There's just a toilet and a sink, so it's just a very small bathroom, which always makes sense when you enter the house and you just have a little bathroom for guests, for example. And as I said earlier, there are 3 bathrooms in total and 5 bedrooms, and what I think is so cool, as you will see, I added a little cute kids room to the tower. So the tower that you saw from the outside when I was working on the exterior is fully functional. I added a little cute kids room there. It's quite small, but it's big enough just for a regular kids room, but I think it would also be perfect for some kind of nursery. So if you just want to delete the bed and place a little crib there, it would work just fine. And this is the kitchen, and I just felt like the shape of this room is just perfect for a kitchen and a dining room. At first I wanted to divide the room and just have a little wall here, but then I thought it would make sense to kind of connect it. I'm going to change up a couple of things because I wasn't happy with how the kitchen was looking. I didn't like the walls and the floor. I didn't like it at all. So I was kind of trying to figure out what might look good color-wise, so it goes well with the whole theme of the house, and I was kind of really figuring out what could look good. It was also a little bit tricky to find the right curtains for these windows because they have such a really unique shape because of the pointed arch, and at first I used these curtains, but then I didn't like them, so I think this was the room where I like worked the most on and changed things. Also at the end of the video I'm going to go back to the kitchen and change some more stuff. I'm going to add something because I really want to make this look beautiful. I also tried to not go overboard with the blue because in the past I made it was almost like a color blocking interior, and I did not like this, so I wanted to use a lot of neutral colors in combination with the blue because the windows are blue. It's just a very blue house, but I hope that the Sims that are living there won't be blue and that they will enjoy the house. And if you want to play in this house, you can of course find this in the gallery. I'm going to include all the information down below in the description box as always. And now it's time for the next comment of the day. I started doing this a couple of videos ago, and this is something that I'm not going to do in every video. It kind of depends on what's going on in that video, but it's something that I would like to do more often. And for this, I pick a comment that was left underneath one of my videos, and it can be anything. It can be something inspiring, something helpful, just anything really. And today I picked a comment that was left underneath my spiral mountain build, where I used a lot of terrain. And someone left a interesting thought-provoking comment underneath this video about how terrain kind of looks out of place in The Sims. And this is the comment: "These builds look so odd being as the rest of the neighborhood is flat. I'm thinking, why did this one person build the house on a rocky hill while everyone else has flat level yards? Still very interesting. It's not players, it's EA. It would be nice to have a new map set in the mountains for builds like this one." Thank you so very much for your comment, John Doe. And I think that this is a very interesting comment and idea. First of all, it would be the coolest thing ever if we got some type of world that has a lot of mountains. And there are so many possibilities when you think about the worlds that we already have in this game. There are a lot of mountains in the background, so maybe there would be a way to kind of implement this around the lot. So a lot could be flat, but the rest around it, the surrounding, consists of raised terrain and cool hills and stuff. So I think that this would be very interesting, and I think this is something that they could have considered for this pack, for example, because this is the first pack that was released right after the terrain tools. We got the terrain tools with the patch for Get Famous, and I understand that this wouldn't be something that could have been included in Get Famous because it was also new, but maybe one day, I don't know. I just think that this is such a very cool idea because John Doe is absolutely right. It just looks completely out of place. I really love the terrain tools. I enjoy building with them. I think that this was kind of game changing to the way that you can build something. It sparked so many new ideas. It's just something that feels so fresh and new. It made building just more exciting, but it's absolutely right that it definitely looks out of place. And the same even goes for the new world, StrangerVille, for example. There were a lot of new cacti added to the world, and the terrain has this very dark, beautiful red color that I already mentioned before in this video. And how cool would it be if we had like this exact swatch for terrain paint, for example, and if we had these cacti, so we could prevent lots from looking so out of place. Of course, there are other objects that we could use, base game objects, some cacti and stuff like this. A lot of the Oasis Spring stuff, if you would like to call it that. But it would be so cool if we like would have some stuff that would make it easier to kind of merge the lots that we build into the worlds that we have. Just leave a comment down below if you want and let me know what you think about this personally. If you think that it would be good if we had some type of world that has more hits, and I don't know. I know that a lot of people are pretty divided on the terrain tools. A lot of people don't like them, others love them, but I think even if you're not the biggest fan, even if you just raise the lot a little bit, just have a little hill, or maybe for a flower bed, I think that even if you don't want to go overboard with the terrain tools, it's just cool to use them a little bit, and having a world that kind of goes right together with this would just be amazing in my opinion. Here I'm working on the aforementioned bedrooms. I decided to have one master bedroom, another bedroom, and 3 typical kids rooms. One of the kids rooms is located in the tower, as I said earlier, and it's much smaller than the other ones. Could be perfect for nursery. It's just such a cute room. You will see it in a few seconds. And I tried to stay away from the very classic colors for the kids rooms. I like to build blue and yellow and pink bedrooms, but I wanted to make the kids rooms look very colorful and happy. I used different kinds of colors, and one of them even looks like a teenager or tween room, I think, which is very cute. And for the master bedroom, I used a lot of neutral colors in combination with these beautiful red curtains, so I always try to add a little bit of color to the bedrooms usually, so I didn't keep them as neutral as the rest of the rooms. So the whole house has one theme, but the bedrooms kind of have a kind of personal touch, if you know what I mean. So it kind of represents the sim that would live in it potentially. Of course, it depends who moves in, but I guess you know what I mean. And this is the second hallway. This hallway just served the purpose of leading up to the tower. I did not want to leave the tower empty because I think it's such a cool addition to the build. It looks awesome from the outside, but I did not want the tower to be just a decorative object basically, so I definitely wanted to fill it and make a cute little room out of this. If you think the room is a little too small, you could of course just delete the object and make something different out of this. And I added these new bookshelves all around the house, where I created some little reading corners in the office, as you saw, but also in the hallways, which are very spacious, so I kind of created these small corners. And this is the cute little room. I'm just so in love with this room. I don't know, the pastel colors, the blue on the wall, this wallpaper is also part of StrangerVille, just so beautiful. And I combined the blue with some pastel pink. It just looks so romantic and cozy, and it's up there and you just have a lovely view. I don't know, but I'm just so in love with this room. It's just so beautiful. And this is the little bunker. I added a lot of stuff that is part of the new pack, and a little bathroom and kitchen, so it's like kind of fully functional. So your sim could potentially live down there. There is even a kitchen and a bathroom, anything you need, and you could also add some other stuff depending on what you're planning to do with your sim. And when you're exploring the whole story, as I said, I haven't done that yet, but I tried to make sure that there is basically anything your sims would need. You could of course also have a butler and let him or her live down there, which would be not very nice. I'm not sure if your butler would be a fan of this, but yeah, this is also another option. And here I'm just doing some last minute changes, basically just working on the color. And the roof is blue now, as you can see. I added some vines on the wall, and here I'm adding some last detail to the kitchen. As I said earlier, in the last minute I decided to add a couple of things to make the kitchen look beautiful, and I think I was really happy with the result in the end. At first I wasn't sure about the kitchen, but then it was all good, and here's a little bit of clutter here and there. And this is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you have a fantastic week, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.